At what point did you think that heaven ever existed? People say this whole game is all about an illusion. Do you bring fruition into reality? Look, when the sun comes up, how many strains of sunlight hit each person? So each one's connected to a laser of the sun. So when Christ says he's never left you, would you not think that it's all about the light? Because there's a few things that never leave you from when you were born or birthed. One of them is the sunlight's never left you, or the moonlight. Each one sends a light straight to you. So when you go under the tree and you see the light speckling through, it's hitting only you. But you can't see someone else's reality when they're walking underneath a tree on the other side of the road. But the sun's doing the same thing. It's like we've connected to this big ball of light, and each one has a energy. Each one has a laser reflecting back at the sun. So as it hits the skin, all the different crystals inside of your skin react and vibrate to the same level as the sun. He's never left you. And in the moon, it's exactly the same. The moon just teaches you there's a portal out. The sun is the portal in, and the moon is the portal out. And there's other portals. The sun gives all the information from all the other planets and sends it all in. Good and bad, whatever, the sun sends it in. It's for you to choose which one that you want to have in your reality. If heaven in your eyes is materialistic stuff, that's heaven in your eyes. But it'd be no good if there was no sun, because you would not be able to have a stream of light to light up whatever your heaven is. Water, the flow, the key to life. Water, you've always got water inside of you. Water teaches you the colours of the hide and seek game that we play. And our hide and seek game is the chandelier of light. And there's so many different colours of the light spectrum that sometimes we fail to see. But when it comes to water, water will show these off, and you will find comfort after seeing the vibration of all these different colours. When you go to a church, or you go to a cathedral or an abbey, you will see they glisten all the windows up with decorated colours on the windows. What do you think they're teaching? So you'd always have a couple of figures in the window that we all would see, and we all know who they are. There's sacred geometry in there, there's sacred messages in there. In the background is always the colours of the sun, unless it's blue. The colours are the answers. You have a laser from the sun beaming down on you all individually. We all have our own sun. We all have our own stars. We all have our own moon. Do you see? So if I see the sun from my perspective, I only see it from my perspective. The sunspot that we can see is only from my own perspective. So if I see it where I am, someone will see it somewhere differently where they are. It's your own sun. Jesus never leaves you. The moon never leaves you. The moon sometimes disappears every season on the cycle of the moon to teach you to fall suit. It teaches you to do your inside work and your outside work. We're coming up to the 21st now. Summer. The 21st of June is summer. And that's where the sun is sending loads of rays down at its highest point. The sun rises at 0 degrees in the North Hemisphere. And it rises on the 3rd month. And then it does 2-1 in spring. 21st of spring. Then it climbs as high as it can into the sky. But remember, the laser is on you. Once where was big shadows now become tiny shadows because the sun is teaching you to overcome your shadow. Your shadow is basically something that you leave behind on this world. You leave it. It doesn't go with you, the shadow. The shadow comes with you from the start, follows you along, and is what you put on to this world is left behind. So if I wrote a book, it's the shadow that I left. My energy here. I've been here. My feet have stood on this earth. That's the shadow. And then the sun and the moon will teach you that you can overcome your shadow. When the sun lifts up, goes around it every day, it makes the shadow tiny and then makes it long again. It's a system of patterns. You have nothing to fear. The Tartarians were able to utilize the energy of the sun rays and connect to the sun rays and have infinite power. They were able to play with the dielectricity. Now remember, the dielectricity is the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the female inside of you. We have male and female inside of yourself. It depends on what one you want to work on. You should work on both. Cleanse the body. Now we're coming into summer. If you don't fancy eating, don't eat. Cleanse. Feel the energy exchange. And don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of this energy exchange. We have been watching many films over our life, and we've already, as a consciousness, decided to choose certain films to be our reality. This teaches you something. Star Trek with their phones, then we get it. It's because what happens is, when someone dreams something of that, they then try, someone else will then have the knowledge or the know to make that into fruition. And then it becomes reality. So we live in other people's dreams. That's how you know you live in a simulation. I say what you have to do when it comes to this is be the highest self as you possibly can, and to do that, reach high. And that just means that your energy must reach high. So the response of your body has to reach as high as it can. The spirit needs to reach as high as it can, and so does the soul. So work with water, work with your emotions, with the information given to you. Cleanse the body, fix the body, go through the traumas, breathe. You've all got your own rays on you. No one exists around you unless you're in your reality right now. They hide themselves in the dark until the rays brings that person to you. Wherever the moon, wherever the sun, wherever the wandering planets, each one has a role. Merely point yourself in the right direction of who the true person is. You are a loving, caring, beating machine. You pulse the radiation, love, out. Don't get stuck in the cycle. Don't keep getting stuck. You don't need to be stuck. If you're in a rut, okay, step out of it. The sun and the moon do not miss a beat, and they continue to carry on doing what they're doing. You're not insignificant. You're not tiny. We're just one of the same thing. Energy, enjoying his own creation. Other people are on their journey. Have respect for it. If what serves you, then it serves you. You will learn to when to talk and when not to talk. You will learn who to speak to, when to speak. Because it's all about observing. See the patterns. And once you see the patterns, don't use it as an advantage. Breathe in with it. The sun makes you breathe in and the moon makes you release. Your energies are intertwined. The male inside and the female. Male breathes in, female breathes out. That's why females have a womb and a baby comes out. And that's why the male goes in. I don't want you to worry. The world's changing, yes. Because as a consciousness, we want it to change. We're changing. Some people were able to connect with other people from another part of the world by stepping into water. Why would this be? Well, electricity and the pulse of the heart. All you have to do is connect to the ether. Where do you think you go when you go to sleep? You're incredible. And at the moment, our world, our earth, is gone from the material of the body, and now it's going to the Father. It's going with the Spirit. And then once that happens, we will then open up the mother. Everyone says about growing your own fruit. Yeah, this is right. And the reason why you've not been able to do that is because we are the children of the children of the children of the light. We have been children, we have been foundlings, we've been misguided. Or, can I say, we've been guided to ourselves, but misguided in the form of our history. There's things that we haven't been told. But through seeking and self-discovery, it's probably the best way that we have wasn't told. Because once we find it, we'll work from it. Okay, we're exercising. We're working stuff out. To see, when I said about working out and then exercising, we weren't ready to grow our own fruit. We need to get to a level of consciousness, right? Because we keep on going down this rabbit hole of relying on a system, which the system is not. It's got the right methods, but the wrong people in power. But the wrong people in power are the pluses, and some of them have been corrupted, but they are serving a purpose. The big energy of itself is serving a purpose to take away what they provide, so you can provide it himself. First, people get angry. Second of all, they start educating themselves. They're working something out, and then they're able to exercise it. You're only able to grow your own fruit and veg and become man, human being on this planet when we are ready to pick up our armor and put it on. Become the Gaia. Become the fairies with our clipped wings. Radiate as we go along through our gardens. Vibrate and make flowers grow. We will do this when the time is wake us up, wake humanity up. They're teaching us. Their atoms have been so amazingly practiced and executed. They've managed to reincarnate with the programs going on with us now, with the lost people that we've got now, them being lost, and then they've woke up. The stuff left dormant inside of you. Some people are just messengers. Some of the messengers don't do what they say you should do, because that's not their role. So for example, if I was up into heaven and my energy was to wake people up, and I knew what the right thing was to do, and I know how to create food, and I know how to make energy better, I know that. But if I got to come and chat to children about it, it's going to be much harder. I've got to teach the children to do it. Why do you think he taught them to fish? You didn't need to keep catching for it. I'll tell you what it's like. It's like having a description in a book on how to build a bridge, and you give it to children. You give this instruction, this is how you build a bridge, and the children have to do it. Do you think you're going to do loads of writing? Do you think you're going to write that all down? Or are you smart enough to know that you're writing to children, so you may as well do drawings? You see? It's drawings. They might not build it. These masters, these yogis who come down, they might not just do what they're saying they do, or they're telling you what to do. What do they always say? Do as I say, not what I do. Because what they're just teaching, they're only here for a short while. They've been lucky to open up their DNA early on. Okay, they're just messengers. They're pointing us. The same as the corruption, like obviously the system that we're in. So, don't get too angry if they're not exactly pure. They just have a message to tell you. Some of them, though, are pure. They've worked so much on their atoms, and they know everything about energy. These are the highest of the council in the sky. These are supernatural beings. And if you know one of them, you're a very lucky person. Because these all about information. They might lack a few things, but they don't lack a sense of humor, and they know all about the information. And they will call people out because they've got all the knowledge behind them, and their knowledge is the light. All they've done is need to study a few things, and that's it. Click, click, there they are. So they've picked up their armor, they've picked up their sword, and they've picked up their shield, and they're standing. And you cannot move them people. They just advance into a crystal. Their armor is gold, and their intention is crystal. There's nothing you can do. They know what the sun does. They know what the moon does. They know what Gaia does. They know what the wandering stars does. They know the energy system. They know it inside and out. They know the human body. That's what we're here to do. Bring heaven back on earth. Summer is here. Stand tall. Detox yourself. Feel the vibration. Fill yourself up with joy. I love you. Love, live, and amplify.